Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Justice. Actually, let's do it this way. Okay. Mm, Let's get started with the markets for today. Let's start with commodities. Give you guys a second. Time traveler confirmed. Okay. Gold in the red, 0.14 at 2,411.93. One quick second. Okay. Silver, $30.77. In the red, 2.20%. Platinum, in the red, 0.48% at 1,002.49. Palladium, in the red, 3.03% at 956.18. Copper 3M, in the red, 1.20% at 9,786.67. Cocoa pallet, in the red, 1.25% at 8,325.00. Coffee in the red, 0.40% at 247.10. Sugar in the red, 1.82% at 1942. Lumber in the red, 0.91% at 437.5 thousand of a cent. Orange juice in the red, 4.51% at 442.05. And cotton is in the red, 0.58% at 69.10. So people are drinking less coffee, they're buying less clothes, they're building less. There's less new products coming out, and people are switching to other orange juice alternatives. Gas oil stands in the red, 0.29% at 773. Heating oil in the red, 0.45%, $2.5127 of a cent. U.S. natural gas in the green, 2.03% at $2.31 and a half. WTI in the red, 0.94% at 82.17. Market overview, Hang Seng in the green, 2.59%. OMX Stockholm 30 in the green, plus 2.19%. Gold silver ratio in the green, plus 2.14%. U.S. natural gas in the green, 1.94, which we went over, just went down. OBX in the green, 1.61, it just came up to 198. OSAX BX plus 135%. CAC 40 plus 127%. Alts plus 119. DAX futures 1.14. Baja Germany 40, 1.06%. Peter Cattle, 1.02 cents. OMX Copenhagen, plus 0.99%, plus 0.1%. S&P LAC, US dollar, plus 0.99%. AEX, plus 0.95%. Bellex 15 Index, plus 0.93%. S&P Marvel Index, plus 0.93%. ASX, plus 0.89%. SMI, plus 0.89%. S&P ASX, plus 0.88%. Baja Euro Stocks 50, plus 84%. DJ Switzerland, plus 78%. Baja Swiss 20, 0.78%. Nifty 50, 0.77%. SPI TR, plus 0.76%. WIG 20, plus 0.73%. IBEX, plus 0.72%. Corn, plus 0.62%. S&P TSX Composite Index, plus 0.62%. MDAX, plus 0.61%. Baja US 30, 0 plus 60%. S&P TSX 60, plus 0.58%. ATX Prime, plus 0.59%. Baja Australia just went back up 0.58%. NASDAQ Composite, plus 0.58%. ATX, plus 0.56%. Well, ATX just went back up. NASDAQ went back up. ATX is back up. They're battling right now. Wow. E-mini S&P 500 Index Futures 0.547%. Almost settlement 0.51. Baja US 500 0.51. Bitcoin US dollar plus 0.50%. Wow. The smallest gainers were Shanghai Stock Exchange Composite Index at plus 0.3. So they're still making money. Okay. Now let's go to currencies. All right. What do we have here? Indices. We didn't go over the indices last time, but we went over it today. Okay. Currencies. Bitcoin, 57,581.035 plus 0.43%. Ethereum plus 0.62% at 3,118 and 30.69. Bitcoin Cash 4.26%, 361.69,003. Dogecoin 0.66% at 10 cents, 7,320th of a penny. Litecoin in the green 2.47% at $69.05, 2742, 2383, 3108, 5061. Okay. Toncoin in the green 0.03% at 7,328 thousandths of a penny. Polygon in the green 1.16% at 50 cents and 38 hundredths of a penny. Cosmos in the green 2.7% at $6.06. Solana plus 181% at 138 and 14 thousandths of a penny. XRP Ripple in the green 4.58% at 47 cents and 0.1 of a thousandth of a penny. Tron in the green 1.78% at 13 cents and 67.30 thousandth of a penny. Avalanche In the green, 0.75%, $25 and 400,000 of a penny. Binance coin, 1 plus 30% at 531.70 thousand, 0.1 of a penny. Polkadot, in the green, 1.93%, $6 and 1.7 thousandth of a cent. Uniswap, in the green, 3.32% at $8, 9 cents and 1 thousandth of a penny. Cardano, in the green, 4.95%, making a comeback, 0.41 cent, 57 hundredths of a penny. Chainlink, 2.86% in the green, $12, 69, no, 694 thousandths of a penny. Shiba Inu, 0.00% at 0.000016. Immutable, in the green, plus 3.81%. $1, 27 cents, 34 hundredths of a penny. Internet Compute, $7, 29 cents, 3 thousandths of a penny. Interest rates. 2-year note futures, America, plus 11%, $102, 5,977 of a penny. 5-year note, in the green, 0.17%, at 107.5,547 of a penny. 10-year note futures, 0.18%, 111.2500. 30-year bond futures, America, 0.29%, 119, 9,688 of a penny. SOFRON, 0% at $5.34. STR, in the red, 0.03% at $3.66.2. Euribor 6M, 0.19 at $3.675. Sonia, daily sterling overnight, incorporated, 0.00% at $5.02 of a penny. Tor 6M, that was the United Kingdom. This is Japan. Plus 0.68% in the green, 0.18 cents, 625 of a penny. And Germany, Bund future, 0.05% in the green at 131.8 thousand 200 of a penny. And REX, Gasmet, 0.23% at 443.2 cents. And ETF Spider S&P 500 in the green, 0.77% at 560.75. Investco QQQ Trust Series 1 plus 0.8%, 80%, I'm sorry, 495.8 thousand 600 of a penny. iShares Russell 2000 in the green, 0.140 at 213.63. Investco S&P 500 Equal Weight ETF 1 plus 10%, 168.5. Spider DJ Industrial Average ETF 0.81%, 400.85. And let me give you guys some hot stocks. All right. Losers first. Wells Fargo and Company, 56.52. Align Company, 242.45. Delta Airlines Incorporated, 43.59. West Pharmaceutical Services Incorporated, 322.92. Meta Platforms, 498.80. Biogen, 230.02. Expeditors International of Washington, 119.92. United Airlines Holding, 44.72. Edwards License Corporation, $91. and General Electric Aerospace, 159. Now let's go with our gainers. In America, Enphase Energy, 119.33. Bank of New York, Mellon Corporation, 6468. Murphy West Rock PLC, 49.14. United Kingdom, Arm Holdings Place, 181.08. Italia, Accenture PLC, 310.72. Ford Motor Company, 14.02. Dayforce Incorporated, 53.06. Builders First Source, 152.72. Boston Properties Incorporated, 67.76. And Generac Holdings Incorporated, 154.09. Now, we already did crypto and currencies, but I like the fact that I have it here separate. Coinbase, Binance prices, Kraken prices, Bybit prices, Huobi Global, Crypto.com, OKEX, Qcoin, Bitbank, Bitstamp, Poloniex, Gate.io, Digifinex, BitHum, Upbit, Big One, Bitflyer, Gemini, Crypto Perpetual Futures. We're not even going to go over those. Binance Futures, Deribit Futures, BitMEX Futures, Bit by Bit Futures, Leverage Tokens by Bit, Leverage Tokens Gate.io, hmm. BTCL, BTC3L, US dollar, trading in the green 3.43% at $4.95 and 4,200th of a penny. All right, let's go to our let's go to our um let's go to our news. First of all, okay, let's take a quick break. Look at the counter. Segment one is complete. Okay. German government sells remaining Bitcoin holdings. The German government has completed the transfer of its remaining Bitcoin from its wallet, thus selling off its 2.9 billion worth of holdings, 50,000 BTC. The Arkham Intel Exchange showed on Friday. The German government just sent 3,846.05 Bitcoin, 223 million 0.81 to Flow Traders, and 139 PO, likely institutional deposit OTC service. The German government has 0 BTC, 0.00M remaining, Arkin posted on X. In roughly a month, Germany gradually depleted its holdings in the largest cryptocurrency in the world by transferring it to major crypto exchange Bitstamp, Coinbase, Kraken, and some undisclosed addresses. Ethereum /US dollar in the green 0.17% at 3,104.95. Bitcoin US dollar in the green still 0.22% at 57,474. Meta. Meta reportedly launched largest Llama 3 model on July 23rd. So this is the response to the Samsung Power Ring. Meta Platforms will release its largest Llama 3 model on July 23. The information reported on Friday, citing an employee of the company. The new model, boasting 405 billion parameters, will be multimodal and capable of understanding and generating both images and text. The report follows the April release of smaller Llama 3 models with 8 billion and 70 billion parameters, which have already seen significant developer adoption. The forthcoming release marks a significant milestone for Meta, occurring about a year after the launch of Llama 2. StubHub reportedly delays IPO until at least September. So for my students, let's take down that keynote. September will be an important month for technology. eBay Incorporated's online ticket exchange company, StubHub, has postponed its initial public offering (IPO) until at least September due to a choppy market. The Wall Street Journal reported on Friday, citing a source with knowledge of the situation. Previously, it was anticipated that the ticketing marketplace would publicly release its SEC filing by the end of the week, with hopes of achieving a market valuation of 20 billion. However, StubHub has chosen to delay the deal until after Labor Day, also because the company's audited financial statements will become outdated in August. So that would make sense. They want to open the new books, which is good. I like that. So that's a buy in my book. A choppy market is when an asset's price shows no clear price trend, but instead experiences many smaller fluctuations. You see, in my music catalog, it's showing a clear price trend, which is very important for business. Um, okay. AMD's Sue. My goal is for us to lead the AI revolution. Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated Chief Executive Officer (CEO) Lisa Lu has stated that the company's goal is to lead the artificial intelligence revolution. An interview with Handelsblatt published Friday revealed, "My goal is for us to lead this revolution," Su said while highlighting the recently announced $665 million acquisition of Celo. "We will grow strongly in Europe," she added. Later in the interview, Su went on to add that the firm is focusing on producing smaller chips and combining them further down the line. Meanwhile, about NVIDIA, the CEO mentioned that it is a great company, but the chip manufacturer is focusing on one area. On the other hand, AMD offers many more products that go far beyond pure AI chips. Amazon rolls out its AI shopping assistant Rufus in the United States. Amazon.com Incorporated rolled out on Friday its generative artificial intelligence powered shopping assistant Rufus to all users in the United States, the company said in a press release. According to the tech giant, Rufus is capable of answering questions on a variety of shopping needs and products right in the Amazon shopping app. After 5 months of testing with a subset of consumers, the tech chat interface is able to understand product details, offer product recommendations, compare prices, and access previous orders, the online retailer added. Since introducing Rufus, we've been thrilled to hear directly from customers how Rufus has helped them with broad range and specific shopping questions and everything in between. Customers have already asked Rufus tens of millions of questions, and we've appreciated their feedback so far, Amazon said. AT&T shares new hack compromise users' calls and texts. AT&T, the multinational telecommunications giant headquartered in Dallas, announced on Friday that it has suffered a massive data breach that exposed customer call and text records from all of its wireless customers and users of mobile virtual network operators between May to October 2022. In a regulatory filing, AT&T noted that the data breach did not expose the content of the calls or texts, nor did it reveal users' personal information. The company reported that on April 19th, it discovered that a threat actor had unlawfully accessed an AT&T workspace on a third-party cloud platform. The telecom giant noted that it does not believe that data has been made publicly available. AT&T also disclosed that the records of a very small number of customers were compromised on January 2nd, 2023. The company's stock was down 2.49% during pre-market trade. AT&T Incorporated in the red 0.27% at 18.81. Stellantis, Total Energies unveil eco-friendly engine oil. Stellantis Nevada and Total Energies SE announced on Friday the release of Quartz EV3R 10W40, a sustainable engine lubricant made from premium regenerated oil offers, the first such product to become available for purchase in Europe. According to the statement released by Stellantis, the lubricant can be used for both gasoline and diesel engines of Peugeot, Citroën, Diaz, Opel, and Vauxhall vehicles under the reference PSA B71 and 2300. The product's carbon footprint is up to 50% lower than that of its predecessor's Quartz 7000 10W40, and it comes in a 100% recyclable package. Within Stellantis' commitment in sustainability, this manufacturer approved lubricant in partnership with Total Energy Lubricants is one more example of our innovation for a better future. As part of our Sustainera range of after sales automotive products, it leverages on circular economy principles, enabling automotive industry waste to be regenerated and reused. Stellantis Global Circular Economy Senior Vice President Allison Jones said, Total Energies SC in the green plus 0.1% at 63.50. Stellantis NV in the green 0.17% at 1864. Starlink mini internet device now available in the United States. Tesla Incorporated and SpaceX Chief Executive Officer, CEO and Export, Chairman Elon Musk Starlink announced on Thursday its Starlink Mini. The smaller version of its portable connector Starlink Roam was available for order in the United States. Connect to high-speed, low-latency internet in 2 minutes, Starlink advertised the device on X, formerly known as Twitter. Max speeds of over 100 megabytes per second for as low as $50 per month. You could get 200 megabytes at Starbucks and at McDonald's. What a shame. I should have known. Just like Starlink Roam, Starlink Mini can be carried around and used to connect SpaceX Starlink satellite internet constellation network by plugging in and pointing at the sky where the system is available. Garbage. Okay. And um okay. So let's close out with these articles for the weekend so we can get this going, all right? Apple settles EU antitrust probe over tap and pay technology. Apple Incorporated will give third party mobile wallet and payment service providers access to the contactless payment function on its iOS operating systems. European Commission Executive Vice President Margaret Vestager announced on Thursday, following the bloc's years long probe. From now on, competitors will be able to effectively compete with Apple Pay for mobile payments with the iPhone in shops, so consumers will have a wider range of safe and innovative mobile wallets to choose from. Vestager said in the statement. The commission preliminary concluded that Apple abused its dominant position by withholding NFC inputs on iOS systems from competing mobile wallet developers, while exclusively reserving this access for Apple Pay. This behavior, the Commission added, resulted in less innovation and fewer choices for iPhone mobile wallet users. Pound hits 4-month high against dollar after GDP print. The British currency reached its highest value against the American dollar in 4 months after data on Thursday showed that gross domestic product (GDP) in the United Kingdom accelerated at a faster than expected pace in May. Catherine Mann, a member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, previously emphasized her reluctance to support interest rate cuts, warning of a potential resurgence in headline inflation. She also noted that wage growth is far away from being consistent with the inflation target. Bank of England chief economist Hugh Hill stressed that more data will be needed before making any changes to the bank's monetary policy. The pound sterling climbed 0.21% against the greenback, selling at 1.28752 of a penny at 11:39 a.m. Central Eastern Time. German British pound /US dollar spot in the green 0.57% at $1.30. U.S. inflation down from 3.3% to 3% in June. The annual inflation in the United States clocked in at 3% in June, falling from Maui's figure of 3.3%. The Labor Statistics Bureau shared in its report on Thursday. The figure came in lower than the analysts estimated. Month on month, the Consumer Price Index (CPI) slipped by 0.1%. The Energy Index increased by 1% for the 12 months ending June, while the figure was 2.0% lower on a monthly basis. The food prices gained 2.2% in comparison to the same time frame in 2023, with the monthly reading rising 0.2%. The core inflation, including volatile categories of food and energy, was at 3.3% year on year, compared to the 3.4% in May. Month on month, core inflation rose by 0.1%, less than initially forecasted. US dollar /CHF spot 0.89 cents. US dollar Japan spot 158.57. Euro US dollar reference rate in the green 0.32% at 109. Gold jumps to 7-week high as US inflation eases. The price of yellow metal touched its highest point since late May after data showed a cooler than expected inflation print in the United States on Thursday. The annual inflation rate arrived at 3% in June, falling from May's reading of 3.3%. The Consumer Price Index, excluding volatile categories of food and energy, saw a slower pace of increase during the reported month compared to the month before. The data showed that the June consumer inflation moved closer to the Federal Reserve's target range, seemingly raising prospects of a possible rate cut in September. Gold surged 1.52% to sell at $2,407.62 per ounce at 8:44 a.m. Eastern Time. Silver soared 2.64% to trade at 31.64 per ounce, and Palladium, I'm sorry, and platinum gained 1.48% to 1,011.14 per ounce. Palladium jumped 1.64%, going for 995.73 per ounce. Palladium, $956.32. Platinum, $1,002.42. Gold, $2,412.37. An ounce silver, $30.79. Dollar sinks 2.5% against yen after softer CPI data. The American dollar weakened against a basket of currencies on Thursday after softer than expected consumer inflation reading in the United States appeared to increase the likelihood of the Federal Reserve's monetary easing as central bankers looked for more confidence in data before cutting rates. The dollar slumped 2.54% against the Japanese yen, trading at its lowest level since late June to sell at $157, 6,040th of a penny at 9:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The pound sterling hit its highest point against the greenback since late July 2023, climbing 0.75% to sell at 1.29437 of a penny. Euro gained 0.60% relative to the dollar, changing hands for $1, 08 cents and 8,968 of a penny. Euro USD reference rate in the green 0.32% at 109. German British pound / US dot spot in the green 0.56% at $1.30. US dollar / Japan spot in the red 0.50% at 158.57. Third time. Nasdaq 100 plummets 1.45% as tech leads losses. The Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 fell further below the flat line on Thursday's trading session as investors seemingly displayed a preference for rate-sensitive small-cap stocks rather than expensive mega-caps. The catalyst for this change in sentiment was the release of the lowest consumer price index (CPI) reading in over 3 years. The Nasdaq 100 plunged 1.45% or 300 points at 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time. Lam Research Corporation was its worst performer, sinking by 3.46%, while Costco Wholesale Corporation tumbled by 3.22%. In addition, Nvidia, Micron, Intel, Netflix, Microsoft, and Meta lost over 2.3% simultaneously. The S&P 500 fell 0.57% 1 minute later. On the other hand, the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.26%. The euro gained 0.43% against the American currency, settling at $1.08, 752 at 11:04 a.m. Eastern Time. Buy US 500 in the green 0.51% at 5,612.80. Euro USD reference rate 0.32% at $1.09. Baja US 30 in the green 0.60% at 39,998.85. Baja US Tech 100 0.58%, 20,315.35. And that wraps that segment up. So let's continue. See how much time we got. Okay, we could do a quick segment because it's unfair to deprive the people because some people are just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to remind people that I own a technology company, and it still doesn't click in. Like it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's go with tourism. Nothing for tourism. That's a shame. All right, let's go with technology. Nothing new. All right, let's go with health. Okay, let's go with health. Listín diario. Salud. Una prueba casera revela el riesgo de sufrir un ataque cardíaco en 5 minutos, según un estudio. La prueba casera consta de 14 preguntas que se responden de 5 a 8 minutos. Europa Press, Madrid, España. Un grupo de investigadores suecos ha creado un cuestionario para uso doméstico que identifica rápidamente el riesgo elevado de sufrir un infarto. Una investigación ha demostrado que tiene el mismo nivel de precisión que los análisis de sangre y las mediciones de la tensión arterial. El estudio publicado en Journal of the American Heart Association utiliza datos del estudio de población SCAPIS con sede en la Universidad de Gotemburgo, Suecia, y patrocinado principalmente por la Fundación Sueca del Corazón y los Pulmones. El estudio fue dirigido por Goran Bergström, catedrático de Fisiología Clínica de la Academia Sahlgrenska de la Universidad de Gotemburgo, médico titular del Hospital Universitario Sahlgrenska e investigador principal de SCAPIS. Un infarto suele surgir de la nada. Muchos de los que sufren infartos están aparentemente sanos y asintomáticos, pero tienen depósitos de grasa en las arterias coronarias, lo que se conoce como aterosclerosis. Nueva prueba permite identificar a casi 2/3 de las personas de entre 50 y 64 años que padecen aterosclerosis coronaria significativa y por tanto tienen un riesgo elevado de enfermedad cardiovascular, ha explicado Bergström. La prueba casera consta de 14 preguntas que se responden de 5 a 8 minutos. Estas preguntas se refieren a factores como la edad, el sexo, el peso, el perímetro de cintura, el tabaquismo, la hipertensión, la hiperlipidemia, hiperlipidemia, la diabetes y los antecedentes familiares de enfermedades cardiovasculares. Según el estudio, al cambiar la información de las respuestas en un algoritmo especial, la prueba casera puede detectar el 65% de los individuos con mayor riesgo de enfermedad cardiovascular. Los resultados demuestran que nuestra prueba casera es tan precisa como un examen clínico con análisis de sangre y mediciones de la presión arterial. Si conseguimos que la prueba esté ampliamente disponible dentro de la asistencia sanitaria, podrá salvar vidas y evitar sufrimientos al ayudarnos a identificar a quienes tienen un riesgo elevado de sufrir un infarto o que actualmente están infratratados, ha afirmado el profesor Bergström. La alerta temprana, las alertas tempranas pueden salvar vidas. El estudio se basa en datos de 25,000 individuos de entre 50 y 64 años, incluidos en SCAPIS. A todos los participantes se les examinaron las arterias coronarias mediante tomografía computarizada que proporciona una imagen del grado de aterosclerosis. El comprar las imágenes del corazón con los cuestionarios cumplimentados por los participantes, los investigadores pudieron comprobar que factores guardaban una relación más estrecha con el grado de aterosclerosis. El equipo de investigación también ha puesto en marcha estudios en Suecia y sobre datos de Estados Unidos para evaluar cómo funciona la prueba en distintos grupos. Identificar a las personas en situación de riesgo antes de que aparezca la enfermedad es uno de los principales objetivos de la Fundación Sueca Cardiopulmonar, concentrada en SCAPIS, como explica la secretaria general de la Fundación, Cristina Spaulding. Una prueba que pueda proporcionar alertas tempranas salvará muchas vidas y mucho sufrimiento. Por ello, los resultados del estudio del profesor Bergstrom son sumamente interesantes. Muy buen artículo y tenemos tiempo para uno más. Ok. Eh, mm, déjame ver. Ya hicimos eso. Ok. Ok. La incidencia de COVID-19 sube un 30% en una semana en España. La incidencia de COVID-19 en España se sitúa en 74.800 casos. No, 74, sí, 74.800 por cada 100.000 habitantes, lo que supone un incremento de 29.064% con respecto a la semana anterior, cuando se registraron 57.7 casos. Okay. Europa Press, Madrid, España. La incidencia de COVID-19 en España se sitúa en 74.8 casos por cada 100.000 habitantes, lo que supone un incremento de un 29.64% con respecto a la semana anterior, cuando se registraron 57.7 casos. Así se recoge en el último informe del Sistema de Vigilancia de Infección Respiratoria Aguda en España, perteneciente al Instituto de Salud de Carlos III, que recopila los datos de la semana del 27 de mayo al 2 de junio. No obstante, este ascenso no se está traduciendo en un gran incremento en el número de ingresos. El informe estima una tasa de hospitalización por COVID-19 de 3.6 casos por 100.000 habitantes, 2.2 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa. En términos de gravedad, desde el inicio de temporada, los casos hospitalizados por COVID-19 presentan un 29.7% de neumonía, un 4.2% de admisión en UCI y un 8.2% de letalidad. En total, la tasa de infecciones respiratorias agudas, IRAs, a nivel nacional es de 437.6 casos por 100.000 habitantes, en comparación con los 461.8 casos de la semana previa. Las tasas de gripe son de 8 casos por cada 100.000 habitantes, 9.2 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa, y las de bronquiolitis, 1.6 casos por 100.000 habitantes, 1.9 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa. El porcentaje de positividad es de 1.5% para gripe, 1.3% en la semana previa, 17.1% para SARS-CoV-2, 2.5% en la semana previa y 0% para VRS, 0.2% en la semana previa. En cuanto a la gripe, la incidencia de gripe de 6.6% de casos por 100.000 habitantes, 6 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa, situándose en valores basales desde la semana del 5 de febrero. El proxy de VRS estima una incidencia de VRS de 0 casos por 100.000 habitantes, 0.9 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa. Vigilancia de infección respiratoria aguda grave, IRAG, en hospitales. La tasa de hospitalización por infección respiratoria grave en hospitales es de 14 casos por 100.000 habitantes, 13.7 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa. El porcentaje de positividad es de 0.7% para gripe en la semana previa igual, 25.4% para SARS-CoV-2, 16.4% en la semana previa y 0% para VRS, 0.4% en la semana previa. Así se estima una tasa de hospitalización por gripe de 0.1 casos por 100.000 habitantes, igual que en la semana previa. En términos de gravedad, desde el inicio de temporada, los casos hospitalizados presentan un 31.8% de neumonía, un 5.7% de admisión en UCI y un 7% de letalidad. También se estima una tasa de hospitalización por VRS de 0 casos por 100.000 habitantes, 0.1 casos por 100.000 habitantes en la semana previa. En términos de gravedad, desde el inicio de temporada, los casos hospitalizados por VRS presentan un 20% de la neumonía, un 10.2% de admisión en UCI y un 3.9% de letalidad. Vigilancia virológica. El 96.1% de los virus gripales identificados en atención primaria son de tipo A. Entre los 1.603% virus gripales identificados en casos hospitalizados, 1.590 son de tipo A. La variante de SARS-CoV-2 identificada en mayor proporción en los casos de IRAs en atención primaria han sido BA2.86%, 59.62% con predominio del 81.49% desde el inicio de la temporada correspondiente a la curriculación de lineajes y sublinajes GN1. La variante de SARS-CoV-2 identificada en mayor proporción en los casos de IRAG en hospitales es BA2.86%, 60.47%, con un predominio del 80.98% desde el inicio de la temporada correspondiente a la circulación de lineajes y sublinajes JN1 entre los VRS estipados en casos hospitalizados. 46.3% son de tipo A y 53.7% de tipo B. Okay. So now we did that. And let's just double check Google News real quick. Hold up. Open your apps, please. Okay, let's see what we have for technology. And we have secured power on the main terminal. Okay, perfect. Hmm. So let's go with technology. All right. This article is brought to you on behalf of Wired. Please log on to wired.com. And thank you for sponsoring this blog. This article is brought to you by Reese Rogers. AI's energy demands are out of control. Welcome to the internet's hyperconsumption era. Generative artificial intelligence tools, now part of the everyday user experience online, are causing stress on local power grids and mass water evaporation. Right now, generative artificial intelligence is impossible to ignore online. An AI generated summary may randomly appear at the top of the results whenever you do a Google search, or you might be prompted to try Meta's AI tool while browsing Facebook. And that ever present sparkle emoji continues to haunt my dreams. This rush to add AI to as many online interactions as possible can be traced back to OpenAI's boundary pushing release of ChatGPT late in 2022. Silicon Valley soon became obsessed with generative AI, and nearly 2 years later, AI tools powered by large language models permeate the online user experience. The unfortunate side effect of this proliferation is that the computing processes required to run generative AI systems are much more resource intensive. This has led to the arrival of the Internet's hyperconsumption era, a period defined by the spread of a new kind of computing that demands excessive amounts of electricity and water to build as well as operate. In the back end, these algorithms that need to be running for any generative AI model are fundamentally very different from the traditional kind of Google search or email, says Sajat Moazeni, a computer engineering researcher at the University of Washington. For basic services, those were very light in terms of the amount of data that needed to go back and forth between the processors. In comparison, Moazeni estimates generative AI applications are around 100 to 1,000 times more computationally intensive. The technology's energy needs for training and deployment are no longer generative AI's dirty little secret, as experts after expert last year predicted surges in energy demand at data centers where companies work on AI applications. Almost as if on cue, Google recently stopped considering itself to be carbon neutral, and Microsoft may trample its sustainability goals underfoot in the ongoing race to build the biggest, bestest AI tools. The carbon footprint in the energy consumption will be linear to the amount of computation you do, because basically these data centers are being powered proportional to the amount of computation they do, says Jinsen Jian, a network systems researcher at the University of Chicago. The bigger the AI model, the more computation is often required, and these frontier models are getting absolutely gigantic. Even though Google's total energy consumption doubled from 2019 to 2023, Karina Statterford, a spokesperson for the company, said it would not be fair to state that Google's energy consumption spiked during the AI race, reducing emissions from our suppliers is extremely challenging, which makes up 75% of our footprint. She says in an email, the supporters, the suppliers that Google blames include the manufacturers of servers, networking equipment, and other technical infrastructure for the data centers, an energy intensive process that is required to create physical parts for frontier AI models. Despite an upward trend of energy needs at data centers, is still a small percentage of the amount of energy humans use overall. Feng Kui Yu, an energy systems engineering researcher at Cornell, mentions oil refineries, buildings, and transportation as more impactful at the present moment. Those sectors use much more energy compared to AI data centers right now, he says. Keeping that in mind, AI's energy consumption footprint could continue to grow in the near future as generative AI tools are integrated into more concerns of the internet and adopted by more users online. Moist Egrogius. In addition to high levels of energy usage, the data centers that train and operate generative AI models consume millions of gallons of water. The water that is available for people to use is very limited. It's just the fresh surface water and groundwater. Those data centers, they're just evaporating water into the air, says Sholai Ren, a responsible AI researcher at UC Riverside and co-author of Making AI Less Thirsty, uncovering and addressing the secret water footprint of AI models. While it may appear similar at first, the impact on the local environment from companies operating giant data centers is not compatible to the impact from residents who may take multiple bubble baths a week or leave the faucet running while they brush their teeth. They're different from normal residential users. When we get the water from the utility and when we discharge the water back to the sewage immediately, we are just withdrawing water. We're not consuming water, Wren says. A data center takes the water from this utility and they evaporate the water into the sky, into the atmosphere. He says the water consumed by data centers may not return to the Earth's surface until a year later. Alastair Spears, a senior director of Azure Global Infrastructure at Microsoft, says in an email that AI is contributing to data center growth and points out how the transition to cloud computing is also a major factor worth considering that can make the growth seem quite fast, when much of it is replacing hardware previously operated on premises, he says. Spears says Microsoft is aiming to meet its goal of being carbon negative, water positive, and zero waste by the end of the decade. Feng Kui Yu, the researcher from Cornell, also emphasizes the importance of continuing the transition to renewable energy sources, though he questions the efficacy of companies that are relying on carbon offset plans as part of their sustainability efforts. Offsetting is a temporary solution, which is better than nothing, but is definitely not an ultimate solution, he says. Wren feels similarly about water replenishment efforts. It's better than no action. While remaining an insufficient measure, he argues that more attention should be paid to the water footprint of the supply chain for large companies as well as their direct consumption. Of course, Google and Microsoft are not the only big contenders of the AI race. When contacted via email, Melanie Rowe, a spokesperson for Meta, asked for more information about the story, but did not respond to further messages. OpenAI did not reply to requests for comment. Power players. Rather than a bane on the environment, technology companies are often positioning AI development as part of the climate solution. and critical to innovation. In an effort to reduce AI's immediate impact as well as the cost, researchers and developers are looking into inventive approaches to lower the energy needed to create AI tools by relying on more efficient hardware chips. They are also experimenting with the potential of smarter AI models that require less computation. Going beyond environmental concerns, these data centers have the potential to overwhelm local power grids with their energy needs. In Washington, there is a Microsoft data center building in Quincy, says Moazeni. I know there's a lot of concern that the power they are burning is basically sucking up all of the energy in that area. Around the world, the server farms that train and operate AI models may compete with local residents and businesses for power, possibly leading to blackouts during peak times. Bobby Hollis, a vice president of energy at Microsoft, says in an email that the company works with the appropriate authorities and utilities to avoid impacting local services. He claims Microsoft builds supporting infrastructure to avoid any utility service reductions for residents. Users trying to be conscientious about their energy consumption may find themselves at a loss. Even if you don't seek out generative AI tools, they can be hard to circumvent because of how they are now included as default features in operating systems, web apps, and everyday software programs. Whether you're logging into an online work portal or just using the internet to connect with your friends, it's almost impossible to click around without seeing multiple chatbots offering summaries of information and promising productivity increases. And although AI already feels ubiquitous, it will continue to creep into more of our online lives as it does. The upper limits of its energy usage and water consumption remain to be seen. Recommend the newsletter Gadget Lab, the latest news, expert guides, and in depth reviews from Wired to Gear team, delivered on Tuesdays and Thursdays, twice weekly. And of course, you can you can enter your email there and subscribe. So give me one quick second while I do that because I like to stay up to date with the markets. So and this going. Mm, let's see. All right. Um, Let me see if I can give you a quick baseline. Let me see. Let's go engineering and let's go wiki. Wiki. Right? Engineering Wikipedia. Let's just go over the first concept so that we can start our new semester. We're going to start very slow. We're going to take our time. We're going to build everything up. Okay? All right. Engineering is the practice of using natural science, mathematics, and the engineering design process to solve technical problems, increase efficiency and productivity, and improve systems. Modern engineering comprises many subfields, which include designing and improving infrastructure, machinery, vehicles, electronics, materials, and energy systems. The discipline of engineering encompasses a broad range of more specialized fields of engineering, each with a more specific emphasis on particular areas of applied mathematics, applied science, and types of application. See Glossary of Engineering. The term engineering is derived from the Latin ingenium, meaning cleverness. Definition: the American Engineers Council for Professional Development, ECPD, the predecessor of ABET, has defined engineering as the creative application of scientific principles to design or develop structures, machines, apparatus, or manufacturing processes or works, utilizing them or in combination, or to construct or operate the same with full cognizance of their design, or to forecast their behavior under specific operating conditions, as all respects as intended function, economics of operation and safety to life and property. Okay. Mm, okay, let's go into the classic era. All right, let's do the classic era. All right, here we go. Modern era. The science of classical mechanics, sometimes called Newtonian mechanics, formed the scientific basis of much more modern engineering. With the rise of engineering as a profession in the 18th century, the team became more narrowly applied to fields in which mathematics and science were applied to these ends. Similarly, in addition to military and civil engineering, the field then known as mechanic arts became incorporated into engineering. Canal building was an important engineering work during the early phases of the Industrial Revolution. John Smeaton was the first self proclaimed civil engineer and is often regarded as the father of civil engineering. He was an English civil engineer responsible for the design of bridges, canals, harbors, and lighthouses. He was also a capable mechanical engineer and an eminent physicist. Using a model water level, Smeaton conducted experiments for 7 years, determining ways to increase efficiency. Smeaton introduced iron axles and gears to water wheels. Smeaton also made mechanical improvements to the Newcomen steam engine. Smeaton designed the third Eddystone lighthouse, 1755 to 1759, where he pioneered the use of hydraulic lime, a form of mortar which is set underwater, and developed a technique involving dovetailed blocks of granite in the building of the lighthouse. He is important in the history, rediscovery of, and development of modern cement because he identified the compositional requirements needed to obtain hydraulicity in time, work which led ultimately to the invention of Portland cement. Applied science led to the development of the steam engine. The sequence of events began with the invention of the barometer and the measurement of atmospheric pressure by Evangelista Torricelli in 1643, demonstration of the force of atmospheric pressure by Otto von Guericke using Meterbug hemispheres in 1656. Worcester published a book of 100 inventions containing a method for raising waters similar to a coffee percolator. Samuel Morland, a mathematician and inventor who worked on pumps, left notes at the Vauxhall Ordnance office on a steam pump design that Thomas Savery read. In 1698, Savery built a steam pump called the Miner's Friend and employed both vacuum and pressure. Iron merchant Thomas Newcomer, who built the first commercial piston steam engine in 1792, was not known to have any scientific training. The application of steam powered cast iron blowing cylinders for providing pressurized air for blast furnaces led to a large increase in iron production in the late 18th century. The higher furnace temperatures made possible with steam powered blasts allowed for the use of more lime in blast furnaces, which enabled the transition from charcoal to coke. These innovations lowered the cost of iron, making house railways and iron bridges practical. The puddling processes patented by Henry Cort in 1784 produced large scale quantities of wrought iron. Hot blast, patented by James Beaumont Neilson in 1828, greatly lowered the amounts of fuel needed to smelt iron. With the development of the high pressure steam engine, the power to weight ratio of steam engines made practical steamboats and locomotives possible. New steel making processes such as the Bessemer process and the open hearth furnace ushered in an era of heavy engineering in the late 19th century. One of the most famous engineers of the 19th or the mid 19th century was Isam Kingdom Brunei, who built railroads, dockyards, and steamships. The Industrial Revolution created a demand for machinery with metal parts, which led to the development of several machine tools. Boring cast iron cylinders with precision was not possible until John Wilkinson invented his boring machine, which is considered the first machine too. Other machine tools included the screw cutting lathe, milling machine, turret lathe, and the metal planer. Precision machining techniques were developed in the first half of the 19th century. These included the use of gigs to guide the machining tool over the work and fixtures to hold the work in the proper precision. Machine tools and machining techniques capable of producing interchangeable parts led to large scale factory production by the late 19th century. The United States Census of 1850 listed the occupation of engineer for the first time with a count of 2,000. There were fewer than 50 engineering graduates in the United States before 1865. In 1870, there were a dozen U.S. mechanical engineering graduates, with that number increasing to 43 per year in 1875. In 1890, there were 6,000 engineers in civil mining, mechanical, and electrical. There was no chair of applied mechanism or applied mechanics at Cambridge until 1875, and no chair of engineering at Oxford until 1907. Germany established technical universities earlier. The foundations of electrical engineering in the 1800s included the experiments of Alessandro Volta, Michael Faraday, Georg Ohm, and others, and the invention of the electric telegraph in 1816 and the electric motor in 1872. The theoretical work of James Maxwell, see Maxwell's equations, and Heinrich Hertz in the late 19th century gave rise to the field of electronics. The later inventions of the vacuum tube and the transistor further accelerated the development of electronics to such an extent that electrical and electronic engineers currently outnumber their colleagues of any other engineering specialty. Chemical engineering developed in the late 19th century. Industrial scale manufacturing demanded new materials and new processes, and by 1880, the need for large scale production of chemicals was such that a new industry was created dedicated to the development and large scale manufacturing of chemicals in new industrial plants. The role of the chemical engineer was the design of these chemical plants and processes. Aeronautical engineering deals with aircraft design process. Design, while aerospace engineering is a more modern term that expands the reach of the discipline by including spacecraft design. Its origins can be traced back to the aviation pioneers around the start of the 20th century, although the work of Sir George Cayley was recently has recently been dated as being from the last decade of the 18th century. Early knowledge of aeronautical engineering was largely empirical, with some concepts and skills imported from other branches of engineering. The first PhD in engineering, technically applied science and engineering, awarded in the United States went to Josiah Willard Gibbs at Yale University in 1863. It was also the second PhD awarded in science in the United States. Only a decade after the successful flights by the Wright brothers, there was extensive development of aeronautical engineering through development of military aircraft that were used in World War I. Meanwhile, researchers to provide fundamental background science continued by combining theoretical physics with experiments. That was amazing. So, 10 years after the Wright brothers, extensive development for aeronautical engineering through military design. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share, And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Greatest teacher on earth is me, baby. This is what we do.